Hello, hello. Is anybody out there? Well, guess hopefully someone will show up. We will find out and see. Anyway, what you're looking at is my breeding project tank. Guppy Inler hybrids. Oh, hey, Payman. We have somebody here. Anything you want to talk about or any questions? I'm still really new to figuring all this out, so. Bear with me while I figure it out. Yeah, they've gotten a little bigger. There's more of them. The next generation is developing. And some of them have definitely gotten bigger. The males have gotten bigger tails on some of them. They're more guppy-like, I guess you could say. A little bit. They don't have a real fancy tail, but they have, some of them have a fancy-ish tail. Oh, Brandy. My wife is being a smart ass. That's her sitting in the chair across the room. What do I feed? I feed a mixture of Ken's premium flakes. I get them a pound at a time, and then I'll show you. I can show you on the live stream. Let me change the camera angle. Alright, here I am. I stick a half pound of the Ken's premium guppy flakes, the premium brine shrimp flakes, the premium color flake, and this has some of the basic earthworm flake. It's just a mixture. Put in this little tote and pop tops off, and I feed anyway. That's what I do with it. I think we are having some lag issues yet. My stream health is very bad. Let's see. I don't know why it's doing this. It's in the red. Yeah, lost the stream. It's not doing real good. Is anybody still here? Because I think the stream has crapped out. I'm only getting like 400 kilobits a second. I haven't medicated once. I haven't even medicated. It's been years and years and years since I've medicated. I get fish, and then I get, essentially their new home is their quarantine. Because usually I set up a tank, buy the fish for it, and that's what it is. They breed and colonize that one tank, and that's what you end up with. They just populate, and same thing with the shrimp. Now I might move fish from tank to tank of my own, but I don't have any illnesses, knock on wood. What kind of illnesses do you have? I'm reading the chat on this, so that's why I keep looking down. Stream health is all over the place. Yeah, could be the new fish you had every so often. Like I said, I just keep the same ones in there. I get a population started, and with all I keep is live bearers and shrimp, and they populate themselves, so I get the starter colony, whether from my own supply or from someone else. Put them in the tank, and it seems to be a pretty good way of doing it if you can have a whole bunch of fish tanks. Because I'd never just add a fish from a pet store in one of my tanks, or order fish and add it to an existing tank. It's kind of like I'm raising my fish to breed, so I never just plop something in from somewhere else. And I've been lucky, and I've never got a sick fish. White patches, I actually do have a few endlers in my Rainbow Tiger endler tank. There's a few of them that'll get white patches on like their tail, but it'll always end up going away. Sounds bad, but I guess if they die, then scoop them out, or most of the time I'll go in, I'll look at there, and I'll see like 50 shrimp in a big pile. And this has only happened like 2 times. I've seen 2 dead endlers the whole time I've had this tank. And the endlers will be devouring a dead endler. The shrimp will be devouring a dead endler. Well, Corn Cup, thanks for stopping by. Have a good day at work. Yeah, a lot of people say quarantining for like 6 weeks. Like there's people with koi, because I've had I've kept ponds and stuff as well. That's what I've been doing mainly for the last 5 or 6 years before I got into fish tanks again real heavily, is ponds and keeping fish outside. But I've heard of like they'll keep a new koi in quarantine if they have a pond full of $1,000 plus fish. They'll keep new fish in quarantine for like a whole season to make sure all parasites are expelled and go through a whole medication process, not exposing them to anything. So just depends. Like koi live they're a big fish that lives for a long time. So obviously guppies, you can't quarantine them for 6 months because that's about as long as a lot of them live. I mean, I guess a year and a half tops. But when you keep them 80 plus degrees, I usually only get about a year out of them, it seems. Usually. Some of them will last a couple years, but not. They're past their prime in a year, that's for sure. Now, I hate showing my ugly mug on here, so I'm going to go back to that view. Actually, this is an HD camera. It's called a Mobius camera, and I fly model airplanes, and I actually hooked that up to my airplanes to get video footage of the plane when I'm flying. So well, when I ship guppies, I put them in I double bag them, use newspapers as the pack it in there tight so the bags don't flop around, move around. And I have a heat pack. In fact, I can show you what I use. I can get at it. Here in the shrimp closet. Let's see here. Back to this view. Uniheat 72-hour heat pack. That's what I ship them with. Now, I'm actually supposed to be shipping out some fish on Tuesday to a guy in Michigan, but I saw that they changed it. It's supposed to be cold, but now they changed it to -1 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna have to get with that guy in time. I don't think I'm gonna ship them next week, because the lows every day are in the single digits, and Tuesday is, like I said, below zero. So I don't really want to do that, even with the insulation and the heat pack. And it's going up north to Michigan, so if it's a -1 here, it's probably -8 there, at least. So I really don't want to subject the fish to arriving as a frozen block. Even with the heat pack, I think -1 is single digits is too extreme. Maybe teens at night and 20s and 30s during the day would be alright, but I don't want to send it out too. These heat packs are 72 hours, and I use priority USPS shipping, and that's guaranteed 3 days. If it's on the eastern half of the country, I live in Indiana, and it's always 2 days. I even shipped one out to California, and it got there in 2 days. So that was good. Of all the stuff I've shipped out, only 1 shrimp has died, so that's pretty good. And that was in a bag of like 14 shrimp. Yep. Oh, fast. I got it. 24-hour fast. No, I don't do anything in particular to fast them. I mean, there's food in the tanks anyway. I mean, my tanks are natural habitats, so I try to, at least to a certain extent. So I don't fast them. I mean, I usually feed them when I get home from work. I don't know if that's on the, look at that. This has my mixed shrimps in here. And that yellow male is trying to get with that red female. Yeah. I guess we missed it. But I was just sitting here looking over there. And he was attacking her. This is just my catch-all shrimp. Oh, there's a new baby. Right there on the Anubias. A new Guppy Yinler hybrid baby. It's just a little fella. Days old. That's kind of cool. I was able to catch that on a live stream. Fertilizer, oh yeah. Fertilizer. Nilo CG DIY liquid fertilizer, or dry ferts. Another question. I'll switch this over to here. I'm gonna go get it and show you. Now this is nilocg.com. Comes in a bag like this. This is the micros, like the CSB. That's all the trace elements and whatnot. And this is the macro. The nitrogen, potassium, and when your first order, one of the options is, do you need the bottles? And these are already pre-measured, and the first time you order it, you order the bottles. And these are the bottles. This is the micro bottle. This is the macro bottle. And you add the dry ferts in there, and then 500 milliliters of water. I mean, for best use, you should use RO water, or bottled water, but I just use tap water. And then, I think my biggest, I mean, that's important, but my biggest trick is not using Excel. It is using Metricide 14. It is the glutaldehyde, or whatever, however you say it, the glute. It's the active ingredient. And I believe Excel is like 1.8% glutaldehyde, and Metricide 14 is 2.6. And when I first started out, I was using Easy Carbon. So I just refill the Easy Carbon bottles with the Metricide. And even though this is a little bit stronger, I still dose it the same. So I pump for every 10 gallons. And I am almost completely algae free doing that way. And I don't know how much of a carbon source it actually provides. but it is definitely an algicide. Because I try to do it every day. I mean, sometimes I'll skip a day because I'll forget or whatever, but usually I do that. As soon as I get home from work, I treat all the tanks. And if I see a little bit of algae, instead of 2 squirts in the 20s, I'll put 3 squirts. It doesn't hurt anything. That's pretty important because if you get algae, and I have moss in all my tanks, and if you get moss, you get algae growing in moss, it's ruined. So there's no real way to clean it. So I try to keep up with the metricide. And I was getting these, it's a gallon jug, I was getting these for like 25 bucks, but the last time, this one I got, I think it was close to 40. I think they raised the price up on them. But this comes with a little packet that's stuck up here on top here. You just throw that out because this stuff is used as like medical equipment, hospital sterilization. I think that's like the sudsy stuff, the surfactant that they put in there. And I just throw that out and dose the glute. So I think that's my biggest secret to the plant thing, to be honest. Saving money too. When I started off, I was getting, well, when I first started off with Easy Carbon, and that's even more expensive than Excel, because you can get Excel in the big bottles. Oh, yeah, you have moss and algae getting in it. Do you use Excel or anything like that? Because if you get algae and moss, it's no good at all. Let's see. Yeah, this stuff's really good. It's stronger than Excel. Yeah, I have Easy Green too. That's how I got started. And it grew my plants, but I didn't have a whole lot of algae, but I had some algae. And I'd have green water problems with Easy Green. Now I should say, since I don't have highlight, and I don't have highlight plants, it's EI dosing. That Nilo CG stuff is EI dosing, but I don't dose it because they want you to dose every other day, then you take a day off, do your water change. On most of my tanks, I just do my water change and dose both. They say you're not supposed to dose both the same day, but I don't have any problems. I don't have any algae. I don't have any issues with it at all. So I dose both, and I dose a little heavier since I only dosed the one day. Like in my 20 gallons, I'll put 10 to 15, about 10 milliliters in there. 10 to 15 milliliters. And then on my 75s, I've filled as full as it'll go, which is, the top line's 30, but I get a little bit more than that in there. And I do the same thing on my 110 gallon stock tank, but with that and my new light I have for that. Oh, they're chasing a baby. There's a baby right there, and I just saw one of the moms try to get it. Didn't go real hard at it. But anyway. but I have a lot better luck. And I was doing easy green twice a week. So I'm just, easy green's alright, but it's kind of, you can't really configure it to your own, how you want it. Like when I first started the Nilo CG stuff, I was dosing twice a week. And my plants were growing good. I didn't really have algae problems with it, but it was too much to keep up with. I mean, I work a lot of overtime. I work a hard physical labor job, and I'm not necessarily wanting to come home and have to prune every tank every week. I do my water changes and feed everyone, fertilize everyone. And when it needs it, I'll trim them up, but I'm not trying to do it. One of my mixed tank where I put my coals and my leftover hybrids and all that, I did a DIY CO2 setup on that for a couple months, and that was just too much to keep up with. That 20 long would just fill up. It'd be nothing but a big mass of plants every week, and it's too much to deal with CO2. So it depends, like, it all boils down to what kind of light you have. Like, I don't want super high light, but I want enough light to grow plants a decent enough rate so things look nice. I can grow anything I want to grow. I mean, I'm not going to grow any high light carpeting plants, but that's why I got the moss I use as a carpet, because that works out just fine for me. This thing is looking awful laggy.
It is.
You want to look at my, is it for you too? Yeah, I'm talking to my wife. The stream health is always in the red. Every once in a while it'll go orange, but it's almost always in the red or yellow. I think my little netbook that I'm streaming off of is not good enough. And I got my HD camera hooked up, so that's probably not, the processor's probably having a hard time keeping up. The only thing running on this thing is like at 70%. This little netbook thing ain't built for live streaming, I don't think. I'm going to try streaming from my phone. It'll look a whole lot better. My phone's more powerful than my netbook. Alright. Is anyone else here? It says 3 watching now. Now it's already been a half hour since I started streaming. Any other tanks you want to see? Anyone want to see any other tanks?
I see one in the front one.
Yeah. I don't think the stream will work that good from there. If it's struggling 8 feet from the router, I don't think the other side of the house would be a good idea.
That's a cool tank.
My wife is such a pain in the butt.
I I'm not.
Now, just for being a, I want to show you. She's sitting next to the stock tank. There is the shrimp closet. This camera has the fisheye lens looking, that's why it's kind of weird looking. It's not too far behind. Well, since no one's saying anything else, Payman and Aquarium Cop, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and it was nice hanging out with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off here.